She survived a killer's fire. She survived a rapist's rage. She survived a collapsing roof, a psychotic breakdown, a kidnapping at gunpoint, and not one but 2 kidney failures. And now, according to a brand new spoiler video sending Coronation Street fans into a full-blown panic, Carla Connor is about to be pushed into what might be the most terrifying corner of her entire 20-year run on the cobbles. If you've seen the clip already, you know exactly why everyone is talking. If you haven't, buckle up, because we are about to break down everything we know about Carla's newest nightmare, why fans think this could be one of the darkest chapters yet for Weatherfield's most accident-prone survivor, and what it could mean for her future and the future of her marriage to Lisa Swain. Welcome back to the channel, soap fans. If you're new here, this is your home for all things Coronation Street, EastEnders, Emmondale, and every twist the British soap world throws at us. So if that sounds like your kind of chaos, do us a favor and hit subscribe before we get into today's story. Because today's story is a big one. Let's start with why this is blowing up right now. A newly released spoiler video, one of those first-look preview clips ITV and its partners tend to drop ahead of transmission, has fans convinced that Carla Connor's world is about to come crashing down again, and this time it looks properly frightening. The footage teases a woman who is cornered, panicked, and completely out of options, and longtime viewers know that when Corrie puts Carla in that kind of position, it rarely ends with a quiet resolution over a cup of tea in the cafe. It tends to end with sirens, hospital corridors, and an entire street holding its breath. The clip has been circulating across soap fan pages and comment sections, with viewers dissecting every frame for clues about who or what is behind her latest crisis, and the reaction has been immediate. Within hours, fans were flooding social media with theories, warnings to brace yourselves, and no small amount of genuine dread on Carla's behalf, because this is a character audiences have been rooting for and worrying about for the better part of 2 decades. For anyone who hasn't followed every twist of Carla Connor's story, here's the quick catch-up on why she matters so much and why fans react so strongly every time she's put in danger. Carla, played by Alison King since 2006, is one of the most enduring and beloved figures in Coronation Street's history. She built her reputation as the fierce, sharp-tongued boss of Underworld, the lingerie factory at the heart of the street's working life, and underneath that icy exterior, she has weathered more trauma than almost anyone else on the cobbles. She survived her husband Tony Gordon's murderous rampage and a factory fire he set to kill her. She survived being raped by her former fiancé Frank Foster, an ordeal that pushed her to a suicide attempt. She was blamed for the underworld roof collapse that killed Rana Habib, a tragedy that triggered a devastating mental health breakdown and psychosis. She's battled kidney failure twice, first receiving a transplant from her cousin Aidan, and more recently from her own half-brother Rob Donovan, a transplant that came with its own horrifying strings attached when Rob used his recovery as cover for a prison escape and ended up holding Carla hostage. She's also weathered chaos on the business side of her life almost constantly, losing and regaining control of Underworld more times than most fans can count, clashing with everyone from her own family members to outside investors, and rebuilding her empire from scratch on at least 2 separate occasions. It's part of why the character resonates so strongly. Carla is not a passive victim waiting to be rescued. She fights, she schemes, she drinks too much when things get bad, and she claws her way back every single time, which is exactly why watching her get cornered again hits so hard for long-term viewers who have essentially grown up watching her refuse to stay down. And that's before we even get to her love life. Carla has been married multiple times, to Paul Connor, Tony Gordon, Peter Barlow twice, and briefly to Nick Tilsley, before finding what many fans consider her happiest and most stable relationship yet with Detective Sergeant Lisa Swain. Their romance, affectionately nicknamed Swarla by the Fandom, has become one of the show's most talked about pairings in recent years. It hasn't been plain sailing. Lisa's presumed dead wife, Becky, returned from the grave and spent months trying to sabotage the couple, at one point even kidnapping Carla and holding her gagged in a closet while impersonating her online to convince Lisa she'd walked away from the relationship for good. Despite Becky's schemes, Carla and Lisa pushed through, got engaged, and after a flooded venue nearly wrecked their big day, they finally tied the knot earlier this year in an emotional surprise ceremony organized by Lisa with help from Ryan, Roy, and Betsy. It should have been one of Carla's happiest moments. But this is Coronation Street, and joy on the cobbles rarely goes unpunished for long, with reports at the time already teasing that a shocking murder was about to rock the street in the very same stretch of episodes as the wedding celebrations. So that's the woman at the center of this new spoiler video. A character who has quite literally been to hell and back more times than almost anyone else in Weatherfield, which is exactly why this latest tease has fans so unsettled. Nobody wants to see Carla suffer again, but everybody also knows that when the show wants to remind viewers just how much this character can endure, it goes all in. Now, let's get into what the spoiler video itself actually shows and why the word terrifying keeps coming up in fan discussion. Without giving away every single beat, because ITV understandably wants people tuning in to see it play out properly, the preview footage teases Carla in a position of real vulnerability, boxed in with no clear way out, and a sense of dread hanging over the scene that fans say feels heavier than some of her previous ordeals. The tone of the clip has drawn comparisons to some of Carla's most harrowing storylines from years past, the siege at the factory with Tony Gordon, being held hostage during Rob's escape attempt, waking up to find her home ransacked before being struck down from behind. Soap fans have long recognized a certain rhythm to how Corrie treats this character. Build her up with happiness, then strip it away in the most dramatic way possible. This new clip appears to be following that exact playbook, and viewers are reading it as confirmation that Carla's post-wedding bliss is about to be tested in the harshest way imaginable. What makes this particular tease land so hard is the timing. Carla and Lisa have barely settled into married life at number 6, still adjusting to their blended household with Ryan and Betsy under one roof, when the show appears ready to throw another crisis their way. Fans who remember the murder mystery looming over the wedding episodes are now wondering whether that unresolved thread is about to collide directly with Carla's storyline and whether the desperate situation being teased is connected to whoever was behind that killing. Corrie has a long history of using its big event weeks, anniversaries, live episodes, and cliffhanger-heavy stretches to detonate exactly this kind of bombshell, and with speculation swirling that the show is building toward another major flashpoint, the timing lines up in a way that has seasoned viewers convinced this isn't a coincidence. Fan reaction across social media has been exactly what you'd expect from a fandom this invested. Comment sections under the spoiler clip are full of viewers begging the show to let Carla have one good year, alongside others admitting they can't look away no matter how much dread they feel watching her walk into danger yet again. There's a distinct split in the reactions too. Some fans are thrilled at the prospect of another gripping, edge-of-the-seat Carla storyline, pointing out that Allison King has delivered some of the show's most acclaimed dramatic performances during Carla's darkest moments, including widely praised work during the psychosis storyline and the aftermath of the roof collapse. Other fans are more protective, expressing genuine fatigue at watching the character suffer again and again, arguing that Carla deserves a genuine stretch of stability after everything she and Lisa have already endured just to get to the altar. Soap opera outlets and entertainment pages have also picked up on the clip, framing it as one of the buzziest teases of the week and fueling further speculation with their own breakdowns of what might be coming. There's also been chatter among fans about how this storyline might tie into other threads currently running through Weatherfield. With Sarah Barlow dealing with fallout from her own dark secrets behind bars, Rob Donovan's chaotic history still casting a long shadow over the Connor family, and Lisa's police background constantly pulling her into danger, some viewers are theorizing that Carla's new crisis could end up intersecting with one of these existing storylines rather than standing alone. Others think this could be the show setting up a proper newcomer villain, someone with a grudge against Carla or Underworld itself, given the factory's history of being targeted by everyone from the Ratcliffe brothers to Stephen Reed. Until the full episodes air, all of this remains speculation, but it's exactly the kind of speculation that keeps a fandom this large engaged between broadcasts. It's worth pointing out just how quickly these spoiler videos travel once they land. Clips like this one are typically pulled apart frame by frame within minutes of going live, with fans pausing on background details, studying facial expressions, and cross-referencing them against earlier promotional photos the show has released. Some viewers have pointed to subtle staging choices in the clip, the choice of location, the way certain characters are positioned, as evidence supporting one theory over another, while others are quick to remind everyone that Coronation Street has a long track record of using misdirection in its previews specifically to throw fans off the scent. It wouldn't be the first time a shocking tease turned out to be building towards something fans hadn't even considered, and several longtime viewers in the comments have urged caution about assuming they already know exactly where this is heading. There's also been a noticeable wave of nostalgia running through the discussion, with older fans drawing direct lines between this new tease and Carla's most iconic peril storylines from the 2010s. Clips of the Underworld siege and the factory fire have resurfaced across fan pages this week, with viewers comparing camera angles and tension-building techniques to the new footage. For a certain generation of Corrie fans, Carla's danger storylines are practically a genre unto themselves, and the fact that this new clip is being held up against those benchmarks says a lot about how seriously the fandom is taking it. So, what could this mean for the future of the show, for Carla, and for Alison King's long tenure in the role? If history is any guide, storylines like this tend to be turning points rather than dead ends for a character as central as Carla. She has never been permanently written out by trauma before, and there's little reason to think that will change now, especially with her marriage to Lisa positioned as one of the show's current emotional anchors. What's more likely is that this new ordeal will test the strength of the Connor-Swain marriage in its earliest days, forcing Lisa to lean on her detective instincts to protect her wife, and potentially deepening the bond between Carla and the wider Coronation Street cast who have rallied around her time and again, from Roy Cropper's quiet loyalty to Ryan Connor's protectiveness as her adoptive nephew. There's also the possibility that this storyline becomes a vehicle for exploring Carla's resilience once again, giving Alison King another meaty, awards-worthy stretch of material after 2 decades of similarly demanding work. For the wider show, a storyline like this also serves an obvious purpose, keeping Coronation Street firmly in the entertainment conversation at a moment when all of Britain's soaps are fighting hard for viewer attention and social media buzz. A terrifying Carla spoiler video is exactly the kind of content that travels fast, gets shared, gets debated, and pulls casual viewers back into a show they might have drifted away from. Whether or not the eventual episodes live up to the drama promised in the clip, the tease itself has already done its job by dominating soap conversation this week. As for what fans are speculating might come next, theories are already spinning in several directions. Some believe this could be the long-awaited follow-up to that unresolved murder mystery hovering over the wedding episodes, with Carla either uncovering the truth or becoming a target because of what she knows. Others think Becky Swain, despite her apparent defeat, could be circling back for one final act of manipulation now that Carla and Lisa are officially married and, in Becky's eyes, further out of reach than ever. There's also a contingent of fans convinced this points toward a health scare rather than a physical threat, given Carla's ongoing vulnerability after her second kidney transplant. Whichever direction the show takes, one thing is clear. Nobody expects this to be a small, forgettable storyline. So, to sum it all up, a new spoiler video has confirmed that Carla Connor's situation is about to get significantly more dangerous, dragging one of Coronation Street's most enduring characters into what fans are calling one of her most frightening ordeals yet. It comes hot on the heels of her wedding to Lisa Swain, a milestone moment that was already shadowed by hints of a looming murder mystery, and it taps directly into Carla's long history of surviving the worst that Weatherfield can throw at her. Fans are bracing themselves, theorizing wildly, and, as always with this show, unable to look away no matter how much dread the preview has stirred up. Whether this turns out to be connected to unfinished business from the wedding episodes, a returning enemy, or something entirely new, one thing is certain. Alison King is about to be given another chance to remind everyone exactly why Carla Connor has remained one of British soap's most compelling characters for almost 20 years. That's everything we know for now, but you can bet we'll be back the moment more details drop, because if this storyline plays out anywhere near as intensely as the spoiler video suggests, it's going to be must-watch television. Let us know down in the comments what you think is really going on, who you think is behind Carla's new nightmare, and whether you think Swarla can survive whatever's coming their way. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss a Coronation Street update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.